My crush is ugly. I'm so sad. I never saw it. And now I believe beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. I will not listen to this nonsense anymore that this woman is the most beautiful woman on earth or this man is the most handsome man on earth. There is no such thing. It is an illusion. It is a fake reality we're living in. And I didn't know this myself until someone broke my bubble or burst my bubble. You know, I had had a crush on this girl for a very long time. I would say about 10 years. She's a celebrity who I will not mention because I do not want to shame anybody, but I want to share this story. And I thought she was the most beautiful thing that exists. Her voice was just angelic and all that. She's a musician, just in case you want me to get further into that. I thought she was the most beautiful thing. I thought every man wanted to be with her. Every woman wanted to be like her. And I built this image in my brain of the greatest person who has ever lived. I never shared it with anybody really because unless somebody asks, I will really not bring it up because everyone has their own crush and everything. But I believed that my crush was the best. Anyone who thought another girl was prettier than her was simply mistaken. Simply just had low standards for themselves. They couldn't look up to me because if they're able to get into that Zen kind of mindset, they would see that I'm right, and I lived with it for long. I remember someone asked me one day, a girl asked me, "Who's your crush?" And I was so eager to share it. So finally, I get this chance to show my taste. And so I told her, and she acted like she didn't really appreciate it as much as I expected. She changed the topic immediately. So my thoughts on it, I didn't take it as a sign that my choice is wrong. When you're talking to a girl and telling her about another girl you have a crush on, the reaction is most likely not going to be positive because it's like, why am I not your crush? But that's a story for another day. So I didn't think much of it. So a few years later, I meet this guy. Now I know from another man I can get an honest opinion because you know there is nothing that is going on between us. I'm a heterosexual man, so we are not we are not competing. Although we might be competing where he might insist his crush is better than mine, but that would be a delusion on his side. But the response he gave me, like I showed her my crush, I expected him to say, "Hey, this is the prettiest woman on this earth." I told him like, "What do you think?" I tell him like, she's alright. You know, he had grown up in America. There's a way they say alright to something like that. Like, what the hell do you mean she's alright? Just alright? And he gave me this face. Yeah. That's when my bubble was burst. I'm like, no, 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 no. Someone thinks my crush is just alright. The celebrity. I have other crushes as well. So I'm like, now I know what to get. Usually celebrities, we have a limited set of celebrities. So, and it's not the prettiest or the most beautiful ones that make it to such a level. So I knew a local beauty, if I may call her that. Not a celebrity, just a pretty girl living her own private life and studying and everything like that. So I'm like, okay, let me show you another one. Let me show you another one. So I take a photo from, I take out my phone and then I'm like, what do you think of this one? Like, she's cute. But the way he said it, man, you know, their words, like, I asked someone else later on just to confirm because I was like, what the hell are you talking about? But that one used the word gorgeous. But it was still not enough. It was still not enough for me. You know, it's not like I expected maybe a word like marvelous, flabbergasting. I don't know if that's a good term, but something that has some shock value to it. But I wasn't getting these answers from anyone. And I kept asking different people. One outrightly said, stay away from this girl. It's like, what the hell do you mean stay away from this girl? Like, these girls are all the same. My goodness. How the hell do you talk about my crush? Like, these girls are all the same? They are not the same. This one is the best one in this world. My goodness. That I never learned. Man, I was rejecting the evidence I was seeing left and right. Everybody I met who didn't describe these girls I was showing them with the enthusiasm that I had with them, I felt they were wrong. There's no way they were right. So I went online. There is this tool that measures attractiveness. You know, you upload a photo of a person, and then they tell you how attractive that person is on a scale of 1 to 10. So a disclaimer: I uploaded my own photo first, yeah, just to see how good looking I am. And fuck no, I got a 6. Okay, you may think 6 is a lot. Sorry for reacting about a 6 like that. But there are some faces, I downloaded some random faces online of people I don't know, and they were getting 9.8 and 10. You know, the regularly look maxers, let's call them look maxers. They're getting 10s out of 10, not clavicular, just regular old, uh, with strong jaws and bones and everything. Put mine there and I get a 6 point. I'm like, what the hell? So I decided to put this girl's image in there and the other celebrity. She got a pretty high score. I think it was an 8 or something like that. But there were a lot of other women who I didn't think were beautiful or pretty who were getting 9.5s and even 10s. I downloaded so many images to just see how this tool works. So she was definitely not as beautiful as I was making her to be. And I saw this phenomenon in a very famous person. Let me redact the name for the sake of not spreading hate towards people. So this guy has very strong opinions on women and racial matters. So he one day decided in a video, I don't know why he decided to do this, like, let me show you who my crush used to be. He says that was no longer a crush. And he says this is still the most beautiful woman I've ever met. He's like, okay, let's Google. And the first photo comes up on Google. And the guys are like, are you serious? This is the most beautiful woman you've ever come across. And he looks at it like, okay, I think the angle is not correct. Okay, let's look for another photo. And so they looked for a second photo, a professional one this time. Like, I still don't see it. What do you mean that's the most beautiful one? It's like, I guess my memory is fuzzy or something like that. Please look for another one. And they looked for another one and another one and another one, and all came back weird. I mean, this guy was just defeated. He, he thought that other people would share in his opinion that this was such a gorgeous or marvelous kind of girl, like he was saying that. I have seen this in people. I really have. I've seen this in people. I look at people and the girlfriends or wives they have, and I'm like, oh, did you settle? Okay, that's a bit harsh. I admit. But now I realize that someone will also be looking at me with My very most beautiful wife. Hey, this guy is settled. That's the reality of my life. So yeah, my crush is ugly, and I'm sad. I'm sad. I'm sad because I can't see beauty in anyone else. That's the problem. If I was able to see beauty objectively, I don't know whether there's anybody who is capable of seeing beauty objectively. Because sometimes I look at these Vogue models or Victoria's Secret models. I'm like, this is a very niche kind of beauty. I mean, it's beauty because it makes it to magazines and the top covers and these major fashion events. But it's not everyone's cup of tea. Definitely not mine at least. But who knows who can decide who is most beautiful? I know there's this debate about Beyonce. I know this is a common household name, so I'll mention it. She's the most beautiful woman that exists. No hate to her. No hate to her. She is beautiful. I see it. I see it in so many angles. Although I really don't think she's the most beautiful woman on earth, I don't see it that way. She's beautiful. I say like the top there. But if you put her face on that website, I'm saying. But I also think that website is biased in colors and all that. There are specific features that exist on you based on where you are and all that. Anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk about or to shame anyone or talk smack about anyone. But this is a serious realization, and look at your crush carefully. Maybe you're putting a lot of effort into her, a lot of your attention to her because you feel like if you get her, you will win. I once had a man say on regular old YouTube, when you have a beautiful wife like mine. Now the guy is talking to his wife. When you have a beautiful woman like you, every man on the streets looking at us will know I won. And I look at it, I'm like, oh, okay, you might have won. That's okay, but that's your win, man. That's no one else's win. Personally, I don't know what you mean when you say that people look at you and think you won. Are they looking at you because they want your wife or they think your wife is? I don't know. I don't know what exactly you mean by that. If you mean they want your wife, I definitely don't want your wife. Nothing wrong with her. She's just not my cup of tea. So that's the same way people will be looking at me when I have my crush. When this bubble burst, I didn't know what to think anymore. Because I had this delusion in me. And I don't think I'm the only one with this delusion. That everyone is going to look at my current girlfriend or wife and be like, this guy won. And I know those stereotypes are perpetrated online, especially in forums, maybe on social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube comments, Reddit, Quora, everywhere. People will say this guy won in life, but that's not. I don't think that's the opinion of the majority. I think the majority will look at it and be like, I mean, your wife is alright, your girlfriend is alright. I mean, nothing wrong with her, but nothing to be hyped about her either. She's just the other girl. So yeah, my crush is ugly, and I have come to terms with it. I still want her. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't want her. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, and my eyes have fallen for her forever. So whether you think she's ugly or not, that's your problem. Your crush is probably ugly to me too. Thanks for watching.